Good morning, good afternoon. Thanks for attending the joint Echo Fishbowl Oracle webinar. Let's get started. Please welcome your host, Jason Lamoon, Marketing Director at Fishbowl Solutions. Over to you, Jason.
Thanks, Jürgen. Hello and welcome, everyone. As Jürgen said, my name is Jason Lehman. I'm the marketing team lead here at Fishbowl Solutions. And thanks for joining us today as Fishbowl, Echo, and Oracle are going to discuss the right tool for the job. Echo improves customer service with Oracle Digital Assistant integrated with Oracle Service. Here are the speakers for today's webinar. So happy and fortunate to be joined by an Oracle Digital Assistant and Oracle Service customer, Echo Incorporated. Joining us from Echo today are Casey Kingsbury and Christina Fink.
Hi, my name is Casey Kingsbury. I'm currently the Senior Manager for all Echo Customer Service here in our North American location. I handle 3 separate teams and have been here for about 3 years, but in customer service for over 20 years. Thanks for joining today.
And my name is Christina Fink. I am the Customer Support Supervisor here at Echo Incorporated. I have been with Echo for a little over 8 years, and my team and I handle any and all customer-related inquiries here at Echo.
Great, thank you. Also joining us today are Scott Wall with Fishbowl Solutions and Suhas Uliyar with Oracle. They're speaking a little bit later in the webinar, so they will introduce themselves at that time. Here's our agenda for today's meeting. First, just want to level set on the reasons why we're having the webinar, and that really is really around Echo's customer service success story with the Oracle Digital Assistant. And we want to show you what that looks like live. So Scott Wall of Fishbowl will give us all a demo and an overview of Echo's implementation. As part of their story, Echo will discuss their future plans with ODA, and then Suhas will provide an innovations update for the platform. So again, the purpose of the webinar is really to highlight Echo's success story with using the Oracle Digital Assistant, what business reasons drove their desire to have a conversational interface and support channel on their website, and how has it benefited them so far. Also want to give other Oracle Service customers what we think is a really good example of what's possible with ODA integrated with Oracle Service and how fast it can be implemented. As we all turn the calendar to fall, a lot of companies are going to be thinking about Black Friday. So perhaps now is the time to get a conversational interface on your website to help with the increase of support requests during the busy holiday shopping season. And the focus today is really on customer service use case with ODA, but the platform can do so much more and satisfy additional use cases. And Suhas will tell us more about that a little bit later. So it's been said that any person can complete any job as long as they have the right tool. Since 1972, Echo has been a leading innovator and manufacturer of professional-grade power equipment. They design and manufacture tools that are purpose-built. Tools for cutting trees, blowing yard waste and debris, and trimming around posts or fences and edging landscapes. Again, specific tools for specific jobs. When it comes to customer service, organizations maintain call centers, have technologies like interactive voice response systems, and provide digital ways to submit support requests through email, their websites, and even through live chat with a human agent. But depending on really what's needed from a customer service perspective and what the most common requests from customers are, each of these support functions have issues or problems. Customer support centers, for example, put customers on hold, which can be quite lengthy at times. Customers get frustrated with having to repeat issues if they're transferred to another agent, and these are expensive to maintain, with some stats stating that a fully burdened customer support agent costs about $65,000 per year. IVR systems make customers access many menus before they get to what they need. And because of this, it takes a long time to get to that resolution. And even digital channels for customer service can be problematic. If not designed correctly, support forms on a website can be hard to find. Sending emails requires someone to read them and respond, which takes time. And live chat still puts people in a wait queue and, again, can be very expensive. So what if all a customer wants to do is access information on where parts for a tool can be ordered, or accessing an owner manual, or what the warranty is for the tool. All information that the customer wants to access and self-serve to, instead of waiting to get simple questions answered on where to find that information. And that is what we're going to hear more about from Echo. Their customers pay good prices for great tools, and they expect fast resolution times when it comes to questions. So they also expect great customer service. And most of Echo's customer questions had to do with knowledge-based information. So let's learn more about how Echo utilized the Oracle Digital Assistant as that purpose-built tool to improve customer service.
Echo Incorporated is a worldwide leader in the manufacturing of professional-grade, high-performance outdoor power equipment for commercial and homeowner use. We have a lot of products because that was a mouthful. Echo is the operating company for Yamabiko Corporation, and its responsibility is for sales in all of the Americas. Yamabiko was formed in 2009 from a merger between Kyoritsu Corporation of America and Shindaiwa. Worldwide, we have 34,000 employees. Our products are sold in 6,600 independent dealers and Home Depot stores throughout Canada, the US, Mexico, and Puerto Rico. We also have 3,000 independent dealers in all of the Latin Americas. As of 2021, we had $1 billion in global sales across all of our business lines. Our North American campus is located in Northern Illinois. We occupy about 582,000 square feet, and we cover 37 acres. In our North America location, we have manufacturing, distribution, and corporate offices. We do have other locations, smaller locations in California, Arizona, North Dakota, and Canada. With our superior products, world-class operations, and diversified sales channels, we are a name that is synonymous with quality. So we offer a few firsts in the outdoor power equipment world. We were the first company to manufacture a mini pro chainsaw in 1971. In 1973, we worked with a man by the name of George Ballas, and we actually created the first string trimmer, or as a lot of people call them, weed whackers, but they're truly string trimmers. From 1975 to 1996, we came out with the first backpack blower, the first handheld blower, a shred and vac, and then a low noise backpack blower. And our pinnacle, as of today, was in 2018 when we developed the 79.9 cc powered backpack blower, known as the most powerful backpack blower in the world. We have a quick video we'd love to share with everyone that showcases a little more of our power, performance, and dependability.
From the time the sun comes up, professional users of outdoor power equipment know that when there's work to be done, the only way to get it done is relying on the best equipment on the market. You depend on performance and durability because your livelihood depends on productivity and efficiency all day. Quick and easy startups, durability, long run time, season after season. Performance that allows you to get one job done and keep moving to the next. Superior work demands superior products, which lead to customer satisfaction and repeat business. After all, if your equipment doesn't work, neither do you. You need dependability. Since 1972, Echo has been a leading innovator and manufacturer of professional-grade power equipment, priding ourselves on setting industry standards with an unwavering dedication to advanced technology and premium quality, all day and every day.
So it's important to know that our business is based on outdoor power equipment, which means it's seasonal. We're most busy in the months where there's no snow on the ground. We noticed in 2020, we saw a 33% increase in communication volume with our full-time customer service reps. We only have a team of 7 people. In addition to handling phone calls, our agents handle chats, emails, and we also handle all questions from Home Depot customers through their portal. The majority of our calls revolve around the same few areas. We also discovered our chat function was not in an easy-to-find location on our website. On average, we were getting about 154 chats per month. We noticed our consumers were unable to serve themselves, find answers to basic questions. This drove them to the phones in trying to get a hold of us. In the fall of 2020, we began collaborating with Oracle to help us find a solution for call deflection. We needed alternative ways to reduce call center wait times and improve overall customer satisfaction without increasing headcount. So in 2020, our total queries were 69,117. In May alone, we had 10,169 queries, meaning all types of questions into our department. That was the highest volume ever in the history of our department. And again, we only had 7 CSRs. So you guys can imagine the level of work that those 7 people were trying to do. Out of 262 working days, we spent approximately $366,800 in providing customer service. It comes down to about $5.30 per query. And 86% of that was phone calls. The rest was made up of chats, emails, and Home Depot questions and answers.
Christina here. I'm going to begin talking about our journey with the digital assistant. So as everyone knows, last year, the pandemic was one of our biggest challenges. It was one of the biggest challenges that most businesses had to tackle. However, amongst the catastrophe and devastation that many face, grew a surge of creativity and innovation by many businesses in many different ways. Echo was fortunate to have an increase in sales during the pandemic. Due to restrictions, people began using their time for outdoor projects, and our volume rose like we had never seen it before. Also during this time, our Oracle service renewal was approaching, and we knew this was our time to innovate and improve our customer service. We worked with Oracle to move the location of our chat functionality and collaborated with Fishbowl to create and design a digital assistant, to optimize our Oracle knowledge base. The main goal was to deflect the routine calls and provide efficient alternative to a human-powered live chat, handle multiple queries at one time, have 24/7 availability, and provide immediate responses. And now I will pass this over to Scott to talk more about the implementation and provide a demo.
Thank you, Christina. As Christina said, my name is Scott Wall. I'm a consultant at Fishbowl Solutions, and I'm our team lead for all of our conversational AI projects, including these ODA projects. And so we've had a lot of these over the years, and I've had a hand in all of them, including this Echo project. So a little bit about Fishbowl. We've been around since 1999 as an Oracle partner the entire time. We focus a lot in content management through the years. And then in 2017, when the first iteration of what would become Oracle Digital Assistant was released, we jumped on that opportunity and ended up winning the Modern CX Hackathon in 2017 for our digital assistant solution. We have the most live customers of any partner in this space since 2017 when it became a product. And we also have the most certified ODA consultants. So a little bit about our implementation. The bot can be accessed right from the main website. We created this bot front end using Oracle's Web SDK with some minimal branding customizations. The integration points are with Oracle service, both on knowledge and live chat. So when a user asks the bot something or the digital assistant something, it will search on the knowledge base that Echo had curated through the years to find the best answer. If they're unsatisfied with that answer, or if they want more information, they can then go to a live agent in the same interface that they were in before. Here's what you're about to see in this demo. I'm going to ask the bot a few questions. It's going to get some answers from Oracle service. And then I'm going to transfer over to an agent on Echo side straight through the same interface. And you can try this all yourself. Go out and buy a great Echo product and then access that support on their website. So this is Echo's homepage. As you can see, we have our chat icon. This was a bit of a customization, but very simple to do. We designed this interface with Echo's marketing team because they want to handle everything that goes on the website, so they have a well-branded experience. You can see we greet the customer right from the beginning. We don't like to leave somebody with an empty screen as part of conversational design. And then the second message is trying to shepherd the customer into asking something in a very brief, easy to digest way. So they're not trying to answer a novel. And if there aren't any agents available, this message will actually change so that the customer knows what kind of experience they're going to get. And they're just going to be able to talk to the bot for those times. So if I ask, what is the serial number for my product? We're going to grab an article from Oracle Service. And this was created long before the digital assistant was available. So this is taking existing data and surfacing it through a new way in front of live agents. And we can go and see the article that Echo had created. Then, as a practice of conversation design, we don't like to leave the customer hanging. So we give them a couple options. Do you want to ask something else, or do you want to talk to support? And I just ask another question. What is the fuel oil mix? It's going to search again. It's going to figure out the fuel oil ratio. We can look into that and see what Echo has to say about it. And then there's also some other options here we can scroll through. Let's say the bot did a great job, but I want some more information that one of these articles wouldn't have. So let's talk to support. So to recreate the same type of experience and gathering the same type of data that Echo had on their normal Oracle Service live chat, we are asking the same questions, just first name, last name, and email. So those and the previous conversation can be populated so the agents know who they're talking to and what they have already asked. So if I say my name is Scott, Wall, Fishbowl Solutions, transfer over. Looks like we're in the queue. So looks like I have a bit of a wait. Which is another great part of this digital assistant, is that we are able to answer all these questions no matter how many people are in the queue. So it's no wait time for a certain amount of questions. And then once we do want to talk to a live agent, we do have to pop back in that queue. And it looks like we have Yoselin here. Hi, Yoselin. You can disconnect me. So we are back chatting with the bot now. So if I asked the bot something else, we can continue our cycle and then talk to another live agent if we really wanted to. And that's all we got. Back to you, Christina.
Okay, thank you, Scott. So this is actually a pretty exciting slide for us here at Echo. We went live with the digital assistant on May 11th of this year and have seen a lot of success. So this table here provides several figures from our recent months, such as how many customers have clicked on the digital assistant or asked a question through it, and how many ended up reaching a live agent. This also shows the deflection rates of 83% and have so far seen a cost savings of a little over $28,000. So like I said, these are exciting numbers to share, and internally, externally, this is great, and this has been great for us. And cost savings is a huge deal, and we all like to save wherever we can. This table shows how much value the Oracle Digital Assistant has brought to Echo in providing an all-around better experience for our customers. We haven't quite seen a drop in volume over phone or chats as we're still in our busy season. However, these numbers show that we may have had an additional 14,000 phone calls in this short time frame. And the digital assistant was able to handle a great percentage of these. So we are very excited to see what the future has in store for us.
It's important to note too, it's Casey here. It's important to note we like to get stuff done here at Echo. So once we discovered we could move our chat function and implement ODA all together and make the experience better. We just ripped off the Band-Aid and went for it. And you can kind of see how our numbers just jumped. I mean, we went from 500 chats a month to up to over 3,000 now. So it's quite a change for us, but it's super exciting. And we haven't had to add to headcount.
All right, so this slide just shows a little bit of what Echo's future with ODA is. The possibilities of ODAs seem endless, and we're very excited to learn and grow more with our digital assistants. We would love to incorporate Echo's YouTube videos, which features a library of product how-to videos and video reviews from commercial users in the field. Incorporating these will better help assist customers to service their own products and potentially make a new sale for us. Another plan we have is to add surveys, providing an option for customers to take a short survey at the end of their search or even chatting with a live agent would help us gather information and insights from our customers on the service provided and or monitor potential product issues. And lastly, continue to monitor customer queries and keep our knowledge base current with the most information as possible.
All right. Thank you, Casey and Christina, for sharing your incredible story. It's so exciting to see this ROI and having sort of seen Oracle Digital Assistant with the first line of code back in 2017 to now. It's absolutely amazing and exciting to see our customers get this kind of responsiveness and ROI. So my name is Suhas Uliyar. I'm the Vice President for the Oracle Digital Assistant and the AI services and additional services like Integration Cloud and Intelligent Automation. So, in addition to sort of what we've seen from Echo, we did a little bit of analysis ourselves, talking to several of our customers. We have over 800 plus customers. Majority of them in sort of the customer service area using Oracle Digital Assistant to provide self-service to their customers. And in addition to sort of what Casey and Christina shared, ultimately this is all about sort of providing the most delightful experience to your customers. And we've seen on average about a 76% improvement in Net Promoter Scores. And this has come through, as I said, through looking at our various customers. As well as sort of, looking at other metrics that Christina shared, the time to resolve, handle time, and the speed at which you can answer questions, and also service time. There was a question that was asked, how did we calculate Net Promoter Scores? Typically, what we recommend to our customers is to have a survey at the end of every conversation and sort of ask them at the point of interaction, sort of what they felt about the interaction and how the ODA did. And very interesting enough, and obviously we also do this as part of the human agent interaction when the call is escalated to a human agent. But the very fact that, there is no wait time initially, the fact that, the ODA answers a number of questions up front and is able to at least filter through all the noise before it actually goes to an agent. And now, given that the agent is not dealing with a lot of questions, they're able to sort of get onto the queue much faster, like what Scott experienced. And so those all sort of contribute towards the NPS, but it's all driven through customer feedback via surveys, as well as sort of looking at, the call handle time and how quickly we're able to close the time, and the following if there are any complaints that come as a result of that as well. So a whole bunch of these parameters fit into calculating NPS. But this is and this is pretty interesting and very exciting numbers that we're seeing with the digital assistant across the board. Now, I mentioned that, for most part, sort of the conversation today was about customer service. What we're seeing is, given that Oracle, from an applications perspective, cuts across multiple different use cases from HCM to ERP to SCM and so on and so forth, we see a very strong uptake also in employee self-service, not very different to customer self-service. And actually, one point I did want to mention is in the customer experience or the customer self-service, we support sort of two types of use cases. There are customers that prefer to sort of take a crawl, walk, run approach. I think Casey mentioned that you should rip the bandit off and let it go and let digital assistant be out in the open. We do have certain customers who like to take one step where they're using things like agent assist, where the user is still talking to the human agent, but the ODA is actually assisting the human agent with answers based on questions that the end user is asking. So those are so we call it customer service and customer support. So there are two areas where we're seeing a lot of adoption right today of the digital assistant, but equally we're seeing an equal amount of adoption in employee experience for HR type use cases, along with sort of ITSM or IT help desk type use cases. Again, so this is employee facing, where we sort of also use the term concierge services, where the employee of an organization can use it across HR, across their finance, across, doing expenses or any sort of IT type questions. And again, as with COVID, with all of us sort of working remotely, the digital assistant has been a boon for a lot of customers. They're able to scale with all these challenges with the pandemic. We're also seeing some incredible use cases in ERP and supply chain management across the board, as well as CRM related to sort of sales and those type of sort of e-commerce and sort of customer marketing type use cases as well. So again, the digital assistant is sort of your one-stop shop, if you like, for multiple use cases that uses conversational AI to interact with data, regardless of sort of the back end. So we're pretty agnostic to the systems of record, and we're pretty agnostic also to the applications that are used by the call agents. Gartner predicts that by 2022, by next year, 70% of us, all of us working in white-collar jobs, will be pretty much interacting with conversational platforms. We're beginning to see this. If I move to the next slide, please. This is sort of what is a strategy at Oracle, and the comment made by our EVP for application development, Steve Miranda, who says that pretty much every sort of interaction, or most interactions, really sort of lend itself great to conversational AI. And very soon, sort of, we're looking at HTML becoming our old UI. I'm not saying that HTML is going to go away, just like mobile apps are not going away anywhere anytime soon. We will see sort of a mix of web, mobile, and conversational AI. But we are beginning to sort of make conversational AI as the forefront of Oracle apps, where you can literally just talk to your application, whether it's for searching for information or doing transactional kind of interactions, conversational interactions, or using natural language processing will be sort of the key moving forward. And so why conversational experiences, right? So, I'm sure every one of us who have used application interfaces, there'll always be someone who says, well, this application sucks, right? Or the UI sucks, or the interface sucks. And so what is the best way to have the most delightful experience is to have no interface at all. And the best interface is the way we speak to each other using natural language. So that's the great thing about using conversational experiences, is that you can interact with it with natural conversation. Here, Scott actually typed information, but voice and speech is a core component and an integrated part of the Oracle Digital Assistant. So you can literally just speak to it and it'll respond back. And the response either could be textual, if you like, so you don't want other people to hear what you've been asking about, or it could be, voice back to you as well. The cool thing is there's no app to download unless you want to use, third-party messaging platforms, like, if you want to use Facebook Messenger or Microsoft Teams or Slack or, other types of interfaces, where obviously on a mobile app, or you have a sort of a native app for Messenger or Slack or Teams. As I think Casey mentioned, it's 24/7. You can support a number of different channels, and it's immediately responsive, as Scott mentioned. So what is the digital assistant? So it's essentially a platform to build intelligent chatbots. We call them skills. You can have multiple skills, and I'll talk about this in the next slide in a minute. We have many patents, over 150 patents on our deep learning technology for intent classification and entity extraction. We have built-in machine learning-based speech recognition. We provide insights into adoption, usage, and so you can and sort of have self-retrained capabilities, so we can understand really how users are interacting with the system. What areas do you want to further fine-tune and optimize? And as I mentioned earlier, you can talk text or even send SMS if you like. And And it's also integrated with our process. So it's not just a matter of asking a question, getting an answer. It can actually follow through on a process. So for example, if you say, how do I do a return? Obviously, you're asking the question because you do want to do a return. So other than providing the policy, you can follow up with you and say, would you like to continue the return? And then follow through that process as opposed to sort of just having the user sort of ask multiple questions. It can truly sort of understand the context of what you're asking about and follow through in the process. The other important thing, what differentiates the Oracle Digital Assistant is Oracle's been in the enterprise business for 40 years with applications along with platform. And we've been able to take advantage of that 40 years of experience to train our machine learning models, because today it's all about the data. And we've been able to have access and train our machine learning models with domain-specific data, whether it's vertical domains or whether it's horizontal domains, i.e. HCM or HR or ERP and so on and so forth. And we've gained that because our own application teams are using this. As I said, it's embedded into all Oracle apps as well. So our machine learning models are trained with the data that we get to use. But the digital assistant in itself is completely agnostic to the backend systems of choice. We have customers integrating with Workday. We have customers integrating with Zendesk, with Salesforce and other custom apps as well. So the platform is agnostic, but the machine learning models have been pre-trained with a lot of enterprise data that really sort of differentiates our machine learning models from the rest of the commerce-based or consumer-based models. And so what makes this as a digital assistant? So I mentioned the word concierge here. And so what we've done is think about this as the Alexa for the enterprise, where you have, but where it differentiates from Alexa is that there's no device per se. You can use whatever channel you want. By the way, we do integrate with Alexa and Google Home as well, if you like. But the idea here is that you have one area, one integration point where you ask your question and it implicitly routes. So you don't have to, like in Alexa, say, hey, Alexa, ask this skill to do something. Here, you don't need to do any of that. You literally just ask a question, and that the deep learning models for the assistant itself is intelligent enough to route it to the specific, subject matter expert skill, if you like, or the bot that will basically understand, interpret what you're asking, go get the data from the system of record. So there's an integration platform behind it that easily connects you to the Oracle and non-Oracle apps or your own custom app, regardless of where it's running, and is able to sort of format the information in the relevant way that's best displayed. So for instance, if you're interacting with Microsoft Teams, then it can use the concept of adaptive cards. If it's Facebook Messenger, it'll use the native controls of Facebook Messenger. If you're calling in or using voice, then it'll automatically sort of understand that this is a voice channel and not have any UI element to it. So this is the whole concept of the digital assistant that provides you sort of this one platform, one area. As I mentioned, I mentioned the term concierge, to be able to sort of interact with all your use cases in the enterprise. And so what are the components of the digital assistant? So this is essentially a cloud native microservices architecture. On the left, you see a number of services. These are more independent services like the language service. So underneath the core of the digital assistant from a NLP perspective uses our OCI language service. So where in the case of the digital assistant, it's fine-tuned and optimized for conversational AI, but you can also use this for long text or for, let's say you want to process emails. So it has a very classic sort of text classification, topic modeling, sentiment analysis, out of domain detection, key phrase extraction, language translation, and so on and so forth. So it is a generic sort of AI service, but it's been specialized for conversational AI in its use of digital assistant. So you can use it for non-conversational AI services. Think about this as Louis or Lex from Amazon. The speech service, again, that's embedded into the digital assistant, but you can also use the speech service standalone for transcription type services, whether it's asynchronous or synchronous, and use it for other type of use cases to embed speech into your applications. One of the things that we have really excelled at is, other than obviously Oracle having access to a lot of data to train our models, we do realize that customers have their own sort of nuances in the way they for their domain, for their vocabulary. So we've created this concept called data manufacturing, where we provide a tool where you as a customer or a developer can crowdsource your own sort of data gathering, data manufacturing to augment sort of the out-of-the-box training models as well. And this is all built running on the OCI service, which is all built on GPUs, the next generation of Oracle Cloud infrastructure. On the right is sort of what makes it very specific to conversational AI. So we have a dialogue service with a low-code, no-code tool that allows you to sort of design and define and create your interactions, your dialogues with the customer. That is all sort of pre-built is stateful. It's got context. It's personalized. So it understands the user. It understands sort of your context of the conversation. It has memory. So when you come back next time, it knows who you are, greets you, and is able to sort of respond or pick up from where you left. So that's the whole full sort of dialogue management service there. Support, as I said, a number of multi-channels. And again, these channels are, again, as I said, mentioned, a microservice that can be used against multiple types of applications as well. So it's available as a service. We do provide a skills store. Today, the skills are published from the application teams. We have partners that will also be very soon sort of publishing skills into the store that you can use. And as I mentioned, we have a lot of deep insights into conversational history, the top phrases being used, and user adoption. So if you want to try it out, when I talked about the Oracle Digital Assistant, there was an animation going in the background. We've created our own skill or digital assistant called RT, which is sort of short form for RT, the manual. Read the manual. What you can do there is you can basically ask RT any question about the Oracle Digital Assistant, and it will answer questions about itself. So you can just go to bit.ly RTBot, and you can ask any question you want. And so this is something we provide as part of the documentation. And our goal here is to sort of start, we've started innovating and move away from the very traditional way that you look at documentation to become more purposeful. So if you're trying to do something, if you have a question about how do you add multi-languages to the bot, you can literally just ask that and it'll guide you through that process as well. So please go ahead and try that. And a lot of videos. Our team creates a lot of use cases and videos on how to use the Oracle Digital Assistant. And one of the most important ones that we created very recently is around conversational design, which is very, very critical in a lot of developers who come from the background, like I did, from web development to mobile development. It does take a little bit of change when you start using this very powerful thing called natural language to build interfaces, right, or build interactions. So we provide a really, really cool conversational design guide as well as part of these videos. So feel free to sort of go to bit.ly and ODA channel, and you'll find a ton of videos that can help you. And we also have a newsletter that we publish very, very often. This is a customer newsletter, but if you're interested to learn more about what we're doing, what we're releasing, please register. And we have very regular updates from the product management team, including all the success stories, events, trainings, and product updates. And we're at a very agile, quick space, and the space itself is moving at a very rapid pace. And so there's a lot of cool, innovative stuff that's coming out. So if you want to be updated on that, please subscribe to this newsletter, and you'll get a ton of information from there. So what are you waiting for? Let's get going. The digital assistant is ready. It's ready to serve you. As I think Jason mentioned, let's get ready for Black Friday. If you have any questions and if you have use cases, the Fishbowl team and the Oracle team is right here to help you.
Awesome. Yes. Thanks, Suhas. Great stuff. A lot of innovations being done with the Oracle Digital Assistant in 4 years. A lot of use cases that it covers. And then we obviously saw one today from Echo on the customer service side. So hopefully that gave you some ideas as you start thinking about automating some of your processes internally with that conversational interface. So as Suhas said, it's time to take action. So, first and foremost, you can try out what you saw today. So the Echo bot is live on their website. Even if you're just curious about their products, go onto their website here at echousa.com. Click on the orange bar on the left and pull up the digital assistant and interact with it. From a Fishbowl solution side, what we usually start with, and Suhas mentioned kind of the crawl, walk, run approach. And a lot of customers take this approach. Let's get it live. Let's start answering our most common inquiries, and let's see it working, and then we can expand from there. So we start that with what's called a mini conversational design workshop. And then we'll put together a branded demo for you so you can actually see, based on your use case and business problem, taking some of the questions maybe from your FAQs or, pulling information like Echo is from their knowledge base. We'll put that together for you. But as Suhas said as well, it's time to get ready for Black Friday. So if there's customers on the call today, especially retail customers, you're going to have a lot of orders. We worked with a customer last fall, and really they were seeing so many inquiries during the holiday shopping season around, I just want to track my order. I want to know that what I ordered will arrive before Christmas or whatever holiday you celebrate during the month of December. And that was costing them a lot of money because people were just calling to talk to a live agent and ask that very simple question. We worked with them just to have that one intent on their customer support page. They didn't have it on their home page, but even that, just through one intent, we saved them over $100,000 from Black Friday to the first of the year. So if you want more information on that, please go to our website and request that information. And on the Oracle side, obviously Suhas just went over all the great things Oracle has to offer. Go to their website for more information on other customers that they have, other success stories. Subscribe to the newsletter. Great information in there. Try the ArtiBot. It's out there. Try it. Again, you can interact with it, see how it might get some ideas on how it might serve you and your organization, and then read more about it. All that is provided to you publicly. So now we are going to move to questions. There have been some questions asked throughout the webinar. Again, if you have a question, just click on the Q&A icon in the Zoom panel and type your question in there. We have many panelists, many ODA experts on the call today. I'll let each one of them chime in by name if they want to answer any of these questions for the rest of the people that are still on the call. Or you can email any question that you've had throughout the webinar, even if you're just curious and want a little bit more, learn a little bit more from Echo's use case, their implementation, what's really required to get ODA running and integrated with Oracle Service. We want to provide that information to you for those people that would be best served to answer those questions. So feel free to email any of our speakers today. So again, with that, I'm going to turn it over to any of our speakers and panelists to state any questions that were asked that you think would be valuable from an answer perspective to the rest of our listeners.
There's one interesting question from Rohit. Is there any plan or a way to move the bot from self-service to self-heal? I believe is the question. I would love to understand what self-healing is, but if that sort of self-service, self-heal, to auto sort of fix stuff, then the answer is yes. We are looking at moving sort of the digital assistant towards this concept called an assistant-driven intelligent automation where it can start automating processes on your behalf. For example, let's just say that you want to reset your password. It's a very common thing, right? Today, sort of you have someone actually perform that action. So the idea here is that it can take action on your behalf. You can delegate actions to the assistant. So truly become, what a classic assistant is, right? Which is for the user, personalized for the user, understanding the user, and be able to take action on behalf of the user. So that's sort of where we're moving from the simple question and answers to actually this concept what we call a digital worker that will actually work on your behalf.
Jürgen, hi Suhas. There's a question from Erin. Does this tool only work with Oracle Service, or can it be integrated also with Microsoft?
Yeah, so we do have an agent framework, and we have customers that have integrated this with Service, with ServiceNow, with Zendesk, with Salesforce. We haven't had any customers at this point that I can remember with CRM, but the framework allows you to connect with anything else. And that's true both from a data perspective as well as an agent application perspective.
And we have a question from Evelyn for the Echo team, Casey and Christine. How is the deflection defined and calculated?
We're actually trying to find that. We saw that question come through. Give us a few minutes and we may need to reach back out. We're digging for our answer.
Okay. And you mentioned that $3.5 per query is very impressive. Any details about this number?
It is actually, I apologize now. This slide was updated a few different times before we had the final calculation sent over to Fishbowl. So it's actually $5.30. So $5.30 per query is we were seeing.
Okay, thank you very much. And we have a question from Niha for Scott. How is the knowledge base integrated with the skill?
Yeah, and that's just with out-of-the-box connections that ODA has delivered for Oracle Service knowledge base. If we wanted to integrate with a different knowledge base that isn't Oracle Service, that's definitely something we can do and have done, but that would require a further customization.
Thank you very much. And we have a question from Brian. Also for you, Scott, can the customer continue to ask questions of the bot while they wait queue, or they're logged out, calling off other skills?
And the answer to that is no. Once they're in the queue, they're waiting in the queue. If they want to close out and try again, leave the queue, they can do that. But once they're in the queue, they're there.
And there's a follow-up question. If the bot is handling an FAQ, can you then, if it can't answer it, handle it over to an agent?
Yeah, the answer is yes. So, the agent handoff can happen in multiple ways. Either when the DA figures out that it can't answer a question, it could then basically automatically hand it off to a human agent, what we call implicit implicit handoff, or explicit, where is like what Scott said, I want to talk to an agent. So yes, the short answer is yes, it'll automatically hand off if it's not able to answer a question.
Great, thank you, Suhas. There is one question from Rohit, how the training is done for the bot. Is it supervised or unsupervised?
So we call it sort of semi-supervised training. In that, for most part, the digital assistant is self-trained. But when we have let's say new utterances come in that are not classified, it is also automatically classified, but we don't publish it to the model unless there's a human that looks at it, because we don't want to happen what happened in the past with sort of the Microsoft Tay bot. If you remember, that the end user started teaching the bot how to swear. So we do have, the model is self-learning, is deep learning, so it doesn't need to be trained. But we do have a human in the loop just to make sure that that it's all great before, or it's all clean before it's published to the live production model.
Okay, there is a question from Chris Suhas. Maybe you want to answer that one also. We showed today a pre-built bot for Oracle Service. Are there also other pre-built bots for Oracle SaaS like ERP available?
Correct, there are. So there are a number of skills available in the skills store for ERP, HCM, CX sales, OTM. Yeah, so a number of them available. So if you go to the, you can look it up on the web and the ODA website as well. But it's if you have you can trial the product. You can just go to Oracle and do a quick trial if you like, and you can get access to all of those skills.
And final question from Alberto: how does translation work? Or can you support different languages?
Yes, so we do support multiple languages natively. So we sort of have we have a dual strategy for language support. There's what we refer to as all the core tier 1, tier 2 languages. So pretty much all the EFIGs, including sort of EFIGs meaning sort of English, French, German, Italian, Dutch, Arabic, Chinese, and also flavors of that. So in other words, so for like say Spanish, for example, both Mexican Spanish as well as Spain Spanish, Catalan, and in French, sort of the Canadian French versus French. So these are all native. So you don't need anything. You can literally just use the platform as is. But for other languages that we don't support beyond this, we do have support for translation as well.
Excellent. Thank you very much, Suhas. Thank you, Casey and Christine. Back to you, Jason.
Oh, Jürgen, I wanted to we have the answer to that math question. So what we did to figure out our cost per inquiry was we took our hourly rate times our amount of people, and in that rate is included our run. We call it our run rate, but it's the rate that it costs us to have an employee. We multiplied that by the people, by the hours in the day, them by the working days of the year. And we were able to then divide that into the number of inquiries for the year and divide it out to see phone and everything else. So that's how we were able to do that. We got to $5.30 per query per person. So thank you.
Very much. Jason, a final question for the Fishbowl wheel. There's a developer who would like to try Oracle Digital Assistant with a proof of concept and would like to see a demo.
Thanks, Jürgen. Yeah, that can definitely be arranged. So we will follow up after the webinar. All right. So again, this is Jason Lehman with Fishbowl Solutions. I want to thank Casey and Christina, especially Casey and Christina for at the end there getting information on the question about the cost per deflection. That's great stuff. And that's really what, you know, this whole webinar was about, is really the value from a customer service perspective that Oracle Digital Assistant integrated with Oracle Service can provide a customer like Echo. Again, really getting down to that purpose-built use case where their customers really just want to get access to information and self-serve to that information from a very easy channel, their public website, get their question and go on and continue to use those great tools. So again, thank you, Casey. Thank you, Christina. Also, thanks to Scott and Suhas. Great webinar. There'll be a survey sent out immediately at the conclusion of this webinar, so please fill that out. We always want to make sure that we're meeting expectations for the content and the subject matter, so please fill that out. And until next time, again, this is Jason with Fishbowl signing off.